We are here with David Swidrak,
What's happening, everybody?
Cleveland famous videographer and photographer. He doesn't think that,
Hardly.
but everybody I talk to says that. Also an IG model yourself, right?
The problem with that is Instagram makes me a model because I just buy everything that they target me, and it's just like Instagram ads. Yup. It's those 2 a.m. purchases that get me every time.
You get all the influencer money, but it goes right into the IG advertisements.
For the record, there is no influencer money coming into my bank account, so
No sponsorships.
no sponsored. Sponsored by Students at Hope.
Oh, wow. That money's flowing in.
This
Well, he makes people IG models with your photography skills. Right before this, you guys heard about Bezalel, if that's how you say it. He's a guy in the Bible. Bezalel. It's
That's a
Hebrew.
cool name.
Who knows? But he's a master craftsman. God places his spirit on him, and he gives him creativity. He actually starts to build the ark, like the most beautiful piece of furniture, architecture.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to call it.
Dutch furniture making.
Right. But this guy is like a modern day, real life Bezalel. That's Hallel. You're getting closer.
I'm getting closer. Working on it.
You're a craftsman. You're a musician, and you're our creative arts pastor. And obviously, like I said, professional photographer. Also, tell me if I'm lying, you're the dad of twins.
I am
Addie
the
and
dad.
Avery?
Yeah, the 4-year-old girls.
Ooh.
They're going to be 5 this year, and there's some creativity that we're starting to see in them too.
On their craft shop?
In the craft shop? No, in just drawing and the way that they see visuals and stuff. It's really interesting to see that kind of coming from generations down and stuff. It's really cool.
Is that passed down from you or Britt? Your lovely wife, Britt.
So both. Britt's pretty crafty too. She's has a really good artistic eye, very good visual eye for that kind of thing. I see it. I got it from my parents. My dad was a draftsman, and a body man, auto body. So he is. See, the gram's blowing up.
I heard you.
And so, I got a lot of those visuals, drawing, art, I think from my parents, and it's cool to see it passed down through my kids now.
What a beautiful thing.
Yes.
You are an artiste. We'll start with music. How long did you spend serving, volunteering in worship and creative arts before an opportunity came to you to be on a staff?
Yeah, so I started leading worship at my school. I went to Christian Community School in Grafton, and I went through K through 12, and I picked up a guitar when I was 9 years old. My grandmother bought me my first guitar when I was 8, and sat in the corner of my closet for a year, and then I picked up when I was 9 for a talent show at the school, and I was like, Dad, I would like to learn how to play guitar. And he's like, I know 4 chords, so let's do this, son. and taught me my first song. We kind of formed a band as we were 9 years old in school, and that's when I first started playing. And then from there, I kind of was hooked. I was like, yeah, let's play some music. This is fun. There was a movie that came out. I think it was like 1995. Like that's that old.
Good year.
Good year. And it was called That Thing You Do, and it was Tom Hanks, and it was a story about this band that was from a small town, and they played at a high school dance, and it was awesome, and people fell in love with them, and in a matter of time, they blew up to be this worldwide famous band. And I always wanted to be the drummer because the drummer was cool. His name was Shades. He put on the sunglasses and
Plural.
he played the drums. Right. and I always wanted to be that guy. So
Wow.
I think that's what, like, initially, I'm rambling, but but initially that's what got me into playing music. And then I started playing Christian music just because I grew up in a Christian family. And we had chapels twice a week at our school. And 5th grade was the first time I led worship in a chapel, and I had this like little squeaky voice. The guitar was literally the size of me. And we formed that little band, and 11 years old was when I started leading worship. So from 11 to 18 or 19. So yeah, so like 7 or 8 years is when I was serving on worship teams. In junior high, we discovered Hillsong, and wanted to be them and wanted to do everything like that. That's really when like Hillsong came. I mean, they'd always been around, but Hillsong United like came onto the platform. Like Hosanna came out, and we lost our minds.
Yeah.
We were just like, this is what I want to do with my life. And so got really serious in junior high and high school, and then started working for churches when I was 18.
David Shade Swidrak, serenading the ladies starting at 11 years old with his guitar and his angelic voice.
Oh, dear.
So, yeah, you were serving the church all that time. You're still serving the church, singing songs over the people of God, leading them in worship.
Sure.
But also with photography and videography, you are serving people in that. I mean, you're making money doing that for sure, but you are serving people's love stories that God has given them. How have those opportunities really let you serve Christ in photography and videography?
Yeah, the one thing that's really kind of stood out to me at first, to be completely honest, like I didn't really know how to answer this question. Or I wouldn't have known how to answer this question earlier in my career, because it was like, okay, like I'm a photographer, I'm taking wedding photos, shooting video, like what does this have to do with God? And there were times where I had opportunities to talk to my couples about God. Everybody knows that I'm, a pastor, and that I, play music at the church. Yeah. But there was as my career kind of went on, it became more clear that the reason I am good at, or at least the reason I have talent in the photography and the videography, is because of storytelling. And my entire life of leading worship and following Christ, and just kind of honing my testimony. The video work that I've done for churches, sharing testimony videos, that's all storytelling, and being able to take somebody's story of salvation and how they came to know Christ, and tell that well, and to be able to show that. So visually, I can show that through photography. It's a lot easier for that to happen in the emotion of video and all that. But that's kind of where that is. I'm able to do that.
Yeah, and you're getting to participate in something that's uniquely like God, the best storyteller there is. He gives us his story in the scriptures, and you get to partner with him in something that's unique to your gifting. And you said that you started that as a teenager. That's when you discovered this whole photo video thing, and you were following somebody around at weddings, and maybe that was just making
17,
money.
yeah.
17. So you started at 17. When did it become something that was so interesting to you that you wanted to go long term with it? You wanted to increase your time and ability in that craft.
So I, from the first time I picked up that guitar and sang in front of a mic and led people in worship when I was 11 years old, all I wanted to do was be a worship leader. My dream was to be Chris Tomlin, and I wanted to stand on stage at the Alive Festival and lead people, hundreds of thousands of people in worship. Like, that was the dream. Like Shades, the drummer.
Yes.
And so, that was my huge focus, career focus, post high school, and just, going right into ministry, doing ministry. I wish I had dumped more time into the photography side of stuff when I was younger. I picked it up like really, seriously when I was 25, And so 25 or 26. And so if I had done that when I was 18, like there's a lot of people who are 18, a lot of photographers who are 18 that are just like killing it.
Yeah.
And I wish I had put a lot more into that. Not saying that I wish I would have done my career path differently and not, worked at a church and stuff like that. I think just being putting more time and energy into it when I was younger. I feel like I missed those years.
Yeah.
So.
And I also share an office with David, and so he frequently asks me, like, how is this worded? How's this copy worded? Or I see him trying to interact with his clients. You even have a better word than clients, right? I don't know.
Well,
You don't even want to call them clients.
No, I
Friends?
mean, I guess they're friends, but I typically just go couples because I work with couples. Yeah.
Yeah. You try to stay away from even that language and make them people in your life.
Right.
And you bring this customer service excellence to them.
Sure.
That is pretty rare, and I like to talk about it with students. So,
Yeah.
why is it so important to pride yourself on excellent customer service and to give your couples an unforgettable experience, especially as a pastor, as someone following Jesus?
I think I tried my best to break down that barrier of vendor and to client, taking it so it's not just like this very cold thing. I talked a minute ago about how I've had the opportunity to share Christ with some of these people, and that's because those clients or couples have become friends, and I've become pretty close with a lot of my couples. Almost all of them are friends, and most of that is because of the gram. But no, like I take that seriously. Like as soon as somebody signs up to work with me, I am committing to put myself out there as a friend and in a relationship to build those relationships. I have a story of one of my couples that I shot last summer. I shot their wedding last summer, and we became pretty close friends. She's a photographer as well, and we've kind of have that common thread between us. But just being their friend and caring about them. Their wedding day was unbelievable, super emotional. It opened up a conversation to be like, hey, I know you go to a church, and they were raised Catholic and were attending Catholic church at the time. Their wedding was in a Catholic church, and she said to me, I love going to church. I just want more Jesus. And so I invited her to Hope, and they attend regularly. They've been coming for like 4 or 5 months, maybe more than that. And that has just being a good friend to them, being less than a vendor. The money is great at the end of the day, but that's not why I'm doing it. Like I am doing it to be able to tell their stories and give them a gift that that they can't give themselves, and seeing their love and their beauty and through the eyes of Christ and through the beauty of God's creation and everything. And that has led down to them coming to Hope and hearing the gospel presented, that Jesus died for their sins and that he is the only way. So
wow.
Yeah.
So actually, when you took your pastor hat off, put your photographer hat off,
I put a camera on my head.
You put a camera around your neck. That's when you got a couple this year. You invited them into a community of faith.
Sure.
And they're actually like, oh, I want more of Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
That's so intriguing. So do we even have to have a ministry title in order to really start making disciples of Christ?
100% no. No.
Right.
No, I mean, because I am very blessed that I get paid to do what I do. If I didn't, if I was still just kind of a musician, serving, I would still be doing this. and I would still be leading worship and still volunteering and still have those same opportunities to lead people to Christ and to be friends and to show God's love. The Bible talks about, us being known by our love. And I think that's hugely important for us to show God's love to people, not just from I need to sell you on my services kind of thing. It's just being genuine and really caring about people and their story. And yeah.
We're known by our love, and we're stirred by the power of the resurrection that our God actually raised from the dead. And interesting side note, you've told me before that Jesus was the first photographer, right?
I wouldn't say he was the first photographer, but he potentially created the first photograph. The first photograph was taken of Jesus. Supposedly, when the burial chemicals, the perfumes that they would go and prepare a body with, when those were mixed with the linen, back in the day, that linen was a very special material. The two of those combined almost were very similar to film, like film photography. And so the way that film photography works, now it's digital and you just press a button and it's like, bam. Kodak. Back in the day, the way it works is that a light-sensitive material called film, which would have been the cloth with the chemicals in it, when exposed to light, shoots an image on there. The shutter opens very, very fast, and a big flash of light, and there you go, Kodak moment. So when Jesus resurrected, flash of light,
wow.
Bam, projected his image on this burial cloth. It's insane. Look it up. Like, it's very, like, every time I research it and look at it, it kind of takes my breath away. So
yeah, you showed me and I was blown away, and I've never heard that or seen it before.
It's this ghostly image, and when you flip it, you take a picture of it, it's kind of like this brown blood-stained cloth, and when you take a picture of it and flip the negative, you see just like the whole thing, and it's like a man that was crucified and has, all the whippings and the holes in his hand, the crown of thorns. It's unbelievable.
Wow.
First photograph.
I love that. Not much of a side note, actually. It fits in pretty well. And that man is the Son of God, and he created us. And he created us to think about God and to express who he is through our creativity. Pretty much however we see fit. He's given us that ability.
For sure. And
to honor him. And our staff uses the Enneagram. We love kind of identifying our habits, our strategies, how we approach life, how we approach working with others.
Figuring yourself out.
Your personality, all that jazz.
Oh, yeah.
And you're a type 3 on the Enneagram, which is like the achiever or the winner. And you want things to be great. Mm-hmm. Your details are precise. Yeah, your nature is to have the details precise. So you want your work to be better than the next guy's. You have high standards for yourself and your work. I've seen that a ton. How do you pursue greatness while having little twins, a wife,
for sure.
all these roles that we've talked about?
Whew.
I feel like you have a 25-hour day somehow.
It stretches. Like. I don't get very much sleep. Perfection is a blessing and a curse, for sure. I love that I'm an Enneagram 3, but I also hate that I'm an Enneagram 3.
Yeah.
Because there's this constant critiquing going on in my head with everything. Like, I'm literally critiquing this video as we are filming it. It's kind of one of those things that, I can't help it, but now that I know that I am this, awesome. And, there's powerful things can happen when you are able to harness that and use it wisely. You can be a jerk about it and just come across like this arrogant person, in everything you do. And at times I have been that, and forgive me for those. But being able to know what you are, and to just be humble, and to constantly being humbling yourself when it comes to critiquing other people's work or critiquing your own work. Knowing where the source of creativity comes from helps. The photography world and the Instagram world, everything is a competitive game. Like it's constant comparison to other people, and that sucks. Like it really does. Like just constantly comparing. Like, oh, I could be better. But knowing that I am doing the best I can with the talents God has given me, and seeing things uniquely through my perspective. Even with my kids, I've said some stuff to my kids, just like coloring a picture. They bring it up to me, and I'm like, "What is it?" And they're like, "What do you mean? I've worked all day on it." And
it's you.
It's you. And I'm like, that doesn't look good. Terrible. Do it again. Work harder. No, I need to learn to love harder in those situations, and just be like this is who God uniquely made you to be, and like good for you. Like that is awesome, and I'm proud of you, and being authentic with it too, not just faking it, you know.
Yeah, I want to go back to what you said a minute ago.
Yeah.
You said I want to do the best that I can with the talents that I've been given.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what we talked about last week in Matthew 25, the parable of the talents.
Bezalel.
Not quite Bezalel there.
No, I'm kidding.
He was much further.
Yes.
Further back in the Bible. But Jesus talks about this story of a man giving out to 3 different people.
Sure.
5 talents, 2 talents, 1 talent.
Right.
And the first 2, they actually multiply the talents they've been given. But the third one just buries it.
The Bitcoin.
Yeah, he just buries his 1 Bitcoin and doesn't let it multiply like an idiot. But he doesn't let it. He doesn't take the talent and do something with it.
Yeah.
And really the analogy there is we are given talents in life, and we do have to do the best that we can with them and multiply what God's gift has been in our life, His blessing in our life. And that should influence others and love others. It should love others harder, like you said at the end there too. And He wants things to be excellent. I mean, here we go. We are following the God who created everything.
For sure.
With excellence. Over the course
Everything's
of 6
perfect.
days.
Like there's no critiquing.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah, and then He rests knowing it's perfect on the 7th day.
Yeah.
So we follow this God, but so then how can we be lazy? How can we not critique in a healthy way?
Yeah.
How can we not want things to be excellent? And we have conversations all the time about Christian products not being excellent. Christian bookstores is there any left? I don't know. They went the way of Blockbuster.
I used to work at Family Christian Bookstore. I was the audio sales associate.
Oh, boy. Do you have a Walkman on?
Oh, gosh. No, I would get calls on the weekend and be like, this lady wants this song. She thinks it's from Stephen Curtis Chapman. I'd be like, sing me the tune. I'd be like, yes, it is Cinderella.
Oh.
Halfway down the shelf.
Oh, boy. Well, yeah, I don't know where that went.
It's a blessing and a curse.
I don't think that building's still around.
No, I think it's a doctor's office.
There you go.
There it is.
You know, things are not excellent. And I know that you think that Christian products, what we should put out, is excellent. Why do you feel it's important for Christian products to be excellent?
Yeah, I think that it's always that kind of like frustration, and I'm not sure why. Maybe it's people feel like they shouldn't dump a ton of money into that kind of thing. Why is mainstream way better and like leading the charge, leading the way that we dress, leading the way that design looks, commercials, what music is like. Why is mainstream leading that instead of the Christians leading that? And the reason that shocks me is because everything was designed by the Creator. Like everything's designed by God. And it's not necessarily like maybe it's that people are afraid to like dump money into into it, be resourceful with everything. But why is mainstream leading, the influence in our clothing and in our music we listen to, the brands, the design, you see our world is completely saturated right now with creativity and being influenced so much in that the way that we present ourselves, the career paths we are supposed to take, the people who we are supposed to be, all of that is stemmed behind creativity. And why why should Christians be excellent in that? Right there. I mean, we should be influencing people in a godly way. We should be influencing music in a godly way, the way we dress in a godly way, the videos we put out on TikTok in a godly way. And we were designed ourselves by the Creator. The photography I take, the way I see, the way I view people, the music that I play, that all stems through from the Creator. And so we should be putting our best. The best way that we can worship God is by turning that around back to Him.
Christianity should be the epicenter of
For sure.
creativity.
Yep.
Absolutely. And we should be giving those talents, we should be multiplying them back towards Him.
Yeah.
Because He made us in the first place. He loved us first, and we love others with those gifts. I think that's a beautiful way to practice our faith, man.
Yeah.
So with that, it's been awesome. This has been great.
Thank you.
Let's wrap it up. What final words would you have on faith, life, and leadership for our students?
I would just say to you guys, whatever you're passionate about, whether that's, something big or small, whatever you're passionate about, whatever you like doing, sometimes people get trying to figure out themselves and figure out what am I good at, because something that they may be good at isn't as obvious in their life. Photography, videography, music, worship, design, those are all very out there aesthetically. They're very upfront and obvious things. But those aren't any more important or crucial than somebody who is just really good at caring for people and hosting people and loving people. The hospitality thing, the gift of hospitality is huge, and that could be a massive career, or even just something that you're passionate about. You can reach so many people just by being good at that. And so just because it might not be an obvious thing, doesn't mean that you shouldn't be putting time and energy into it, or even thought okay, how can I be more, how can I exercise this gift? How can I stretch this talent? How can I use this? What would this look like? What could I do with my life and my influence later in life if I worked on this now? So really just kind of praying and seeking God and saying, God, what am I good at? You created me for a purpose. You've given me creativity, whether that's, something what I do, or something that something I could never do. What are those talents and gifts that you have given me, and how can I use them to honor you and bring people closer to you?
Right on, my friend.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of life, faith, and leadership with David Swidrak.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Let's go have some coffee.